What's going on, y'all? So, with this particular video, it's going to be very action-packed here. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be covered in this video. Just over the past few days, there has been a lot of things that was discovered, a lot of things that needed to be said in this video, and it was just so much material that I wanted to do it in separate videos, but it was just so much material all at one time that I pretty much had to put this all in one video. So if you're watching this on the replay and there's a specific section that you want to check out, there are timestamps in the description, but I highly advised everybody to watch this whole entire video to get the grand scope of the stuff I'm about to present here. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So when it comes to this first part of the video, this part of the video is going to be very serious. It's going to delve into a serious discussion, and it's something that needs to be talked about more, not just here on YouTube, but outside of YouTube. So, in life, as common people, and I'm using the word common people for a reason, and I'll explain that later on. But in life, as common people, you may have experienced being in a conversation with somebody, whether it's a family member, a friend, or even a stranger at that, who was a victim of sexual abuse. Now, for those who have not experienced this yet, there's a good chance you may experience this. But once you encounter a person who comes up to you and needs to talk to somebody about their trauma, their pain, their experience of being sexually abused, a victim of sexual abuse, whether it's molestation, rape, whatever the case is, the most important thing for the common person to do in that situation is to listen. Don't talk, just listen. Listen to the things that they're saying, listen to how they're expressing themselves, listening to their pain. And as they're talking and you're listening, it's also important to ask them questions. Once you ask them questions, you're trying to get them to talk more. Because sometimes when somebody of abuse may tell you things, but they don't tell you everything, it's important to ask questions to get them to talk more about their experience. That way, they're not going to leave anything out. Because once they have everything out of their system, they feel more better once they talk to you. But the most important thing is to listen. Now, there may be a time during this conversation you may be a shoulder to cry on. They may be emotional, so you may have to be that shoulder to cry on. Try to encourage them that things will be all right and that they did the right thing by talking to somebody. And then later on, it may be a point where this victim may ask for advice on what to do next. What do I do next? How do I go about this? And as a common person who is asked this about what to do next, you have two options. But in reality, it's only really one. But let's say you have two. Let's go ahead and give you guys a pop quiz. If a person of abuse is asking you advice on what to do, as a common person, would you A, give them your best guesstimation? Or would you explain to them, hey, look, listen, I don't think it's appropriate for me to tell you what to do next. I'm not experiencing this type of things. I care about your mental health. So why don't we refer to you to an actual professional that can take you to the next step? You pretty much did the first step by telling somebody, and you told me. But why don't we, in this next step, get you some actual help? Now, the reason why I say a common person is because of the answer, which is B. Let's take you to a professional. Let's get you some actual help. With the common person, when it comes to that situation, that common person has no type of experience in dealing with mental health, giving advice about mental health, giving expertise about mental health, especially when it comes to sexual abuse victims. That's why I say the common person. So then the question comes, what person who doesn't have credentials, who doesn't have a certain expertise on this particular situation when it comes to sexual abuse, what kind of a person who doesn't have those credentials, those qualifications, those expertise, will go out of their way to not only give advice to these victims, but also go as far as to charge them for these types of advices? Well, we know at least one person, and that guy is Lenon Honor. So as you can see, this here is a live stream that Lenon Honor uploaded on October 16th, 2013. And if you look at the title, it says, "I told my parents that I was sexually molested." Now, when you see that title, you would think that Lenon Honor is the one that told his parents that he was sexually molested. However, that is not the case. This is an example of clickbait. And that should be a major red flag, that you would put a title like this to engage people to look at your crappy live stream, only for you to talk about a person saying that they told their parents that they were sexually molested. Not that it is you that is being brave enough to talk about your experience. But unfortunately, in this video, and probably by the first minute of this video, Lenon Honor made it clear that he has never been sexually molested. However, though, he also said that he has done plenty of consultations over the last 3 years. Keep this in mind. This was in 2013. So he's been getting consultations since 2010. And from his own words, it deals with sexual molestation. And also another thing to point out, y'all, this live stream from 2013 is 2021. This video only got 5,000 views, or a little over 5,000 views. And it goes back to what I've been saying for the longest time. A lot of these Lenon Honor supporters, these lemon heads, they're so in defense of this dude that they don't even bother to look at these older videos to see what people like me and others are talking about. But yet these same people are so quick to look at these Dr. Umar Johnson videos from 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago, and wants to tell Umarians what they're not looking at and how they're dumb and how they're so gullible for what Umar Johnson says. But yeah, people like me and others trying to tell them the same thing and to look at the videos, but they don't even want to look at those videos. So that's just something to keep in mind. So anyways, if you look at the description of the same exact video, you would see Lenon Honor having certain things about how to protect your children from child molesters. And as you look at this, he breaks it down from internal philosophy for men, external actions. And if you look at this stuff, it's, folks, I mean, like I'm pretty much showing what the description is. You guys can read this for yourself if you want. The link's in the description to this video. But just reading this, you kind of have this eerie feeling that it's possible that this guy does not know exactly what he's talking about. I mean, like, it's pretty obvious. And if you look further down, you will see stuff of what sexual child abuse and child molestation is. Talking about pedophilia. And you'll see tags added into this video. Again, trying to gauge engagement to watching this crappy live stream. But one thing you don't see in this description is Lenon Honor's credentials. What credentials, what qualifications, what expertise do you really have to address this? What do you have? Now, I know what the Lemonheads are going to do. They're going to do their favorite tactic. They want to deflect to Dr. Umar Johnson. And as I keep saying, y'all, this isn't about what side you're on with Umar Johnson. This is just pointing out the bullshit of lemon dishonor. But let's play that game in this video. Let's just play that game for a minute here. So let me ask you this, Lemonheads. How many of you do not think Dr. Umar Johnson has credentials? How many of you think that Dr. Umar Johnson isn't qualified to give certain expertise about the mental health field? If you do not think that Umar Johnson has qualifications to give certain people advice on certain things, then where is your same energy for lemon dishonor when it comes to this live stream? This man doesn't list his credentials at all in this description box. A lot of you want to talk about Umar Johnson needs to show his degrees. If you don't show your degrees, you're not a real doctor, yada, yada, yada. If you feel that way, where is your same energy for lemon dishonor? Will this change your tune? This man is not showing any of his credentials in this description box to let somebody know of sexual abuse, that this guy is to be trusted. Yet at the same time, this same man has been doing consultations when it comes to child molestation for 3 years when this was uploaded. If you look on his website, a 1-hour consultation cost $100. So a man with no qualifications, no credentials, is charging $100 for situations like this, for mental health conversations like this. Are you guys going to have the same energy for lemon dishonor? So right here in this next video that I'm going to show you, this was uploaded on December 20th, 2012. So this video was uploaded earlier than the first video that I've showed you. This is how far back it goes, people. And like I said with these view counts, this one has over 6,000 views. Those Umar Johnson videos that he's making today average between 18,000 to 30,000 views. So again, to you Lemonheads that like to keep constantly defending this man, go back and do your research. The videos are on his channel still. So anyways, as we can see, as we start playing it, the thing that you will see is the first thing on this video. It says, due to the importance of topics discussed during this radio interview, I encourage you to please share this video with anyone who might benefit. I thank you for your support. Lenon Honor. So this is coming from him personally. This isn't me mixing his words or anything like that. This is what is on the video as you start playing it. And the title says child molestation, child abuse, sexual abuse, and rape. This was a radio interview. And Lenon Honor's talking about these situations. And if you look in the description box, what is right here? This person, Lemon Dishonor, shows Shabazz's YouTube page. He then promotes his website. But we see more stuff in the description box. So let's see exactly what's in here. Maybe he has some qualifications in here to let people know that he's a guy that knows what he's talking about. So let's see. Lemon Dishonor talks about he's a writer, musician, video producer, talk show host, and counselor. His website, LenonHonor.com, has provided a wealth of information and inspiration in regards to manhood, fatherhood, marriage, children, family, and personal growth. He then talks about saying he's a writer of 2 published books. He's produced some empowering lecturing series. He offers personal consultations in the areas of marriage, female relationships, male-female relationships, family, fatherhood, motherhood, children, creativity, and spiritual growth. He then talks about saying that he produced 8 major documentaries to date. He talks about him being a musician. Then it talks about saying that he's working on several projects. Then there's tags. Folks, where are the qualifications? Where are the credentials? Where are the expertise to showcase that this man is qualified to talk about this stuff? Molestation, abuse, sexual abuse, and rape? And this man had a radio interview? Are you kidding me? And to the Lemonheads, I know you're going to deflect to Umar Johnson, so I'm going to deflect it right back to you. If Umar Johnson did the same exact thing and you think he doesn't have any credentials, has no business giving any advice to people out here, are you going to have the same energy for Lemon Dishonor? That's the question I'm going to start asking whenever you deflect when it comes to Umar Johnson. This isn't about whose side you're on. And I get real tired of me having to keep saying that when people bring up Umar Johnson as if that is a point. You don't have a point. Because at the end of the day, are you going to have the same energy? This type of stuff here, y'all, is dangerous. He has no credentials. He has no qualifications. He has no expertise to speak on stuff like this. Lemon Dishonor is a common person like you and me who has no experience in the mental health field. I have none whatsoever. None. So who am I to give advice? Who am I to come onto YouTube and try to pretend like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to this type of stuff? I don't. I know people personally that's been victims of sexual abuse. I know people who has been victims of rape. But do you think I'm going to try and become their counselor, their doctor? Hell no. The only thing I can do is listen. And that's what Lenon Honor is only qualified to do, is to listen. Be that shoulder to cry on. That's it. For you to come on YouTube and giving advice, and on top of that, you have to charge people for these type of stuff. What kind of man does that? It makes absolutely no sense, none whatsoever. And this is very dangerous, extremely dangerous to do. So right here in this next video that I'm going to show you, this was uploaded on December 20th, 2012. So this video was uploaded earlier than the first video that I've showed you. This is how far back it goes, people. And like I said with these view counts, this one has over 6,000 views. Those Umar Johnson videos that he's making today average between 18,000 to 30,000 views. So again, to you lemon heads that like to keep constantly defending this man, go back and do your research. The videos are on his channel still. So anyways, as we can see, as we start playing it, the thing that you will see is the first thing on this video. It says, due to the importance of topics discussed during this radio interview, I encourage you to please share this video with anyone who might benefit. I thank you for your support. Lenon Honor. So this is coming from him personally. This isn't me mixing his words or anything like that. This is what is on the video as you start playing it. And the title says child molestation, child abuse, sexual abuse, and rape. This was a radio interview. And Lenon Honor's talking about these situations. And if you look in the description box, what is right here? This person, Lenon Honor, shows Shabaz's YouTube page. He then promotes his website. But we see more stuff in the description box. So let's see exactly what's in here. Maybe he has some qualifications in here to let people know that he's a guy that knows what he's talking about. So let's see. Lenon Honor talks about he's a writer, musician, video producer, talk show host, and counselor. His website, LenonHonor.com, has provided a wealth of information and inspiration in regards to manhood, fatherhood, marriage, children, family, and personal growth. He then talks about saying he's a writer of 2 published books. He's produced some empowering lecturing series. He offers personal consultations in the areas of marriage, female relationships, male-female relationships, family, fatherhood, motherhood, children, creativity, and spiritual growth. He then talks about saying that he produced 8 major documentaries to date. He talks about him being a musician. Then it talks about saying that he's working on several projects. Then there's tags. Folks, where are the qualifications? Where are the credentials? Where are the expertise to showcase that this man is qualified to talk about this stuff? Molestation, abuse, sexual abuse, and rape? And this man had a radio interview? Are you kidding me? And to the Lemonheads, I know you're going to deflect to Umar Johnson, so I'm going to deflect it right back to you. If Umar Johnson did the same exact thing and you think he doesn't have any credentials, has no business giving any advice to people out here, are you going to have the same energy for Lenon Honor? That's the question I'm going to start asking whenever you deflect when it comes to Umar Johnson. This isn't about whose side you're on. And I get real tired of me having to keep saying that when people bring up Umar Johnson as if that is a point. You don't have a point. Because at the end of the day, are you going to have the same energy? This type of stuff here, y'all, is dangerous. He has no credentials. He has no qualifications. He has no expertise to speak on stuff like this. Lenon Honor is a common person like you and me who has no experience in the mental health field. I have none whatsoever. None. So who am I to give advice? Who am I to come onto YouTube and try to pretend like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to this type of stuff? I don't. I know people personally that's been victims of sexual abuse. I know people who has been victims of rape. But do you think I'm going to try and become their counselor, their doctor? Hell no. The only thing I can do is listen. And that's what Lenon Honor is only qualified to do, is to listen. Be that shoulder to cry on. That's it. For you to come on YouTube and giving advice, and on top of that, you have to charge people for these type of stuff. What kind of man does that? It makes absolutely no sense, none whatsoever. And this is very dangerous, extremely dangerous to do. So in this next video that I am showing, this is a video that was uploaded by Lenon Honor on December 18th, 2014. And this video had 8,000 views. Again, this doesn't equate to the Umar videos he makes today. And as usual, we see another clickbait title saying, I was molested at 7 and struggled with my sexual identity. This has nothing to do with Lenon Honor personally, who was molested at 7, but he's talking about somebody else that was molested at 7 and is struggling with their sexual identity. And, you know, these clickbait titles trying to feature this type of sensitive topics here, it's just disgusting. It really is. And it really showcases the guy's character when he does clickbait titles like that to make people watch his video. I mean, it's just disgusting. So as we go to the description, you will see a very long story. And this particular story was from a woman. And in this video, as Lenon Honor was reading this question, he made a comment in the video that this woman should do a consultation. Now, before I go any further, I want to make it clear the stuff I'm about to talk about is alleged. It's alleged. I'm going to be fair. All this is alleged from here on out on what I'm about to talk about. So, this was in 2014. Years later, in 2020, the YouTuber D. Durrell found this video and he was doing a review of the same exact video. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with D. Durrell, he has credentials in the mental health field. Regardless of what you may think about him, the fact of the matter is, if you look up his government name, the dude has credentials in the mental health field. So D. Durrell was reviewing this particular video, and D. Durrell's making comments about how Lenon Honor doesn't have the credentials to give certain advice to certain people about these situations. And when I was having a conversation with D. Durrell, when I was consulting with D. Durrell about this story, according to him, he says that the same exact woman that was consulting with Lenon Honor from that same exact video was in his chat. And what ended up happening was that this woman emailed D. Durrell personally, and she told him about her experience. And this woman allegedly was pouring her heart out to Lenon Honor about the situation that she was in. She was struggling with a lot of things. She was struggling with her identity and everything. And after she did that, allegedly, Lenon Honor said to her to go back and look in your past and call me back. That was it. Lenon Honor allegedly told her to look back in your past and call me back. Folks, this was a consultation that she had to pay for, that she was struggling with her identity. She was pouring her heart out to this man, and allegedly he told her to look back into your past and call me back. Folks, if that doesn't break your heart, if that doesn't piss you off, I don't know what else to tell you. You clearly don't have a heart. You clearly don't. Because what kind of consultation is that? You paid money for a consultation and that's it? And according to D. Durrell, this woman felt that her psyche got worse after that consultation, allegedly. That things got worse for her after that, allegedly. And ever since then, D. Durrell has not had contact with this woman or anything. We have no idea where this woman is, if she's in a better place, if her psyche has gotten better, if she even bothered to look for somebody else for help. We pretty much have no idea. We don't know. And it's pretty sad to hear. And this is what pushed me over the edge. If this is true, that Lenon Honor seriously told this woman, the only thing to do is look back into your past and call me back, after she poured her heart out, you, sir, are a piece of shit. If you did this allegedly. Again, I'm trying to be as fair as I can when I talk about this particular part of the video. If you did this, you are a piece of shit. You have no credentials. You have no qualifications to speak about this. And once you have a person that seriously needs your help, you basically told her just to look back into your past and call me back. That's bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. Absolutely disgusting. And again, to the lemon heads, if Umar Johnson did this, would you be outraged? Would you feel some type of way? Would this make you sick? For you people in the mental health field, if Umar Johnson did this, would you feel some type of way? And if you do, are you going to have the same energy for Lenon Honor if he did this, allegedly? So, where do we go from here? You know, this woman, Andrea Stewart, aka Anti-Afro Svengalis, has been quiet on this whole Lenon Honor saga. She really has. Instead, what she has done is she keeps caping for Lenon Honor at every point. Her damage control is embarrassing to a all-time high. And I wonder, why do you call yourself Anti-Afro Svengalis? Now, some people may have it confused with what the actual name means, but from my vantage point, Anti-Afro Svengalis means that you are against people who manipulate, who scam, who fraud people that happens to be black. That's pretty much what I got from her name. And for the past 4 years now, she's been on Dr. Umar Johnson's ass. We'll give her that. She has been quite the stalker. Quite the stalker. But when it comes to people in her own circle, she's not saying a word. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Reverend Gerald Palmer, one of your biggest complaints about Dr. Umar Johnson is the fact that you believe he doesn't represent your type of field, which is the mental health field. And that's understandable. That's understandable. But sir, how can you time and time again stick up for a man with no credentials giving out advice to these victims, to sexual abuse victims? How can you sit there and constantly say that people are lying about Lenon Honor when it is shown that this man has no credentials and has no business giving people advice about sexual abuse, about child molestation? And not only that though, but even out of his own mouth, he said he had plenty of consultations when it comes to child molestation. It's in the video. You can go back and look at it. So how can you sit back and accept that, Gerald Palmer? How? Anti-fraud warriors, you guys claim you're about fraud. You guys claim that you're about protecting the black community. You claim that you're trying to keep these certain black folks out of our community and bringing our community down. But how can you say all that and you constantly defend him? You deflect to a guy that you hate and you defend a guy that you love. How about you guys live up to your name? And it seems like to me I pretty much have to do y'all job again. I have to do y'all job for the third time in a row now. The third time I have to do y'all job. And quite frankly, I'm getting tired of doing that. But you know what? One time it was funny. Pretty much got my name out there at first. The second time, gave a little bit more pub to my channel. But this is the third strike. This is the third strike. Now I could have came on here and did a little parody, did a little ha ha he he thing, and that's all good. But this is the third strike, and none of you have said shit. So, what am I going to do? What am I going to do now to do y'all job? Well, I'll tell you what what I plan on doing. I am going to tell everybody listening to this video, if you are inclined to, again, if you are inclined to, I want you to report these videos to the Board of Psychology. Send your complaint to the Board of Psychology. I am tired of doing y'all fucking job, AFWs. I'm tired of doing y'all job. This is getting ridiculous. Why am I doing y'all job? Why am I doing this? Why? My name's not Anti-Afro Svengali. I'm pretty much not the type of reverend that comes on here saying, I'm pretty much about humanity. I'm not an AFW. So why am I doing y'all job still? But okay, we'll go ahead and keep playing that game. So again, to anybody out there listening, if you are inclined to, go ahead and report these videos to the Board of Psychology. Complaint. Send a complaint. This is only a complaint. This is only a complaint. And what I also want you guys to do is to send 2 separate complaints. Send 2 separate complaints. You will send the first 2 videos as one complaint, and you'll send in the last video in which I pretty much explained that the lady allegedly was saying these things to D. Darrell. You'll do that as a separate complaint. So you're going to have 2 videos for one complaint, and the last video that I talked about as a separate complaint. You're going to send that to the Board of Psychology. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you how you can do that. And before I go and go on to the next part, never forget to heed the warning. Buyer beware. So here I am on the website. Links in the description. You're going to go down here, go to continue breeze. Pop up any minute. And what you're going to do is you're going to go to file complaint on the left side. And what you will do, you will go to the board tab. And you're going to look for Board of Psychology. And what you're going to do is you're going to put today's date, since the videos are still up there. Put in your complaint. Make sure you leave the links down there. And that's pretty much it. So now we're at the next section of this video. And we're going to tone it down a little bit, but we are still going to be a little bit serious in regards to the questionable awareness that Lenon Honor displayed while he was in this quote-unquote bad neighborhood when he was living in California that resulted into the big move, aka the big scam. And what led me to this questioning in the first place was that I took it upon myself to rewatch that stupid, ridiculous, coon-ish rant that he did in regards to saying that Black Lives Matter don't matter to most black people. And yes, I call him a coon. I don't give a shit what some of you people say. I don't need the kumbaya speech and all that other stuff. The thing about me is that I am direct. I call it like I see it. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. The dude was cooning in that video. Sorry, not sorry. But anyways, I'm really not going to focus too much on what he said because, again, it was just complete ignorant crap. Like him saying, oh, I don't subscribe to race and I'm not going to raise my kids to be black or African American. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? But anyways, y'all, I want to focus on some of the other things that he said and some of the things that he was doing in this particular video. Now, keep this in mind. This video was made prior to the big scam, right? Now, mind you, this dude claims that he is in an unsafe neighborhood that resulted in him doing an emergency crowdfunding campaign. And he says it's so unsafe, it's so dangerous out here. But yet in this video, for some odd reason, early in the morning, this dude comes outside with his back turned to the fence, facing a camera, and he's ranting and raving for nearly an hour. Now you tell me, what kind of man in a dangerous neighborhood that resulted to you, in your words, into a emergency move out? We have to move as soon as possible because it's a emergency. It's so unsafe for my children, and we got these drug addicts and alcoholics, and they're throwing syringes and stuff into our yard and saws into our yard and yada yada yada. But yet, for some odd reason, you're outside ranting and raving about your neighbors with your back turned, facing a camera. Who does that? What kind of awareness do you have? What? Either this man is lying about the severity of this terrible neighborhood, or he's just dumb. It's one of the two, people. It's got to be one of the two. It's got to be. The other thing I noticed was his dog mysteriously came outside. This is your puppy. Why is your puppy coming outside with no care in the world? I would assume that at some point in time, dogs would have a sense of what's dangerous and whatnot, but your dog just came outside all, ooh, here I am. And you even nonchalantly pointed at your puppy during this video in this dangerous neighborhood. So again, I got to ask, how dangerous is this neighborhood really? Later on in the video, if you decide to watch it, you would notice his daughter came outside. And once he realized his daughter was outside, he nonchalantly, with barely any awareness, nonchalantly tells his daughter to go inside. Folks, in a dangerous neighborhood where you have to resort to move out emergency wise, how can you nonchalantly tell your daughter to go inside? If I was in a dangerous neighborhood and my daughter was outside, I would run quick, grab her, and take her straight into the house. I would even kind of get up and get a little bit upset. Like, hold on, why are you coming outside? I told you don't come outside. Why are you outside? You need to stay inside. Period. Don't ever come outside. These are the things that got me questioning this dude. You're in such a dangerous neighborhood, but yet you're doing all of this. Not only that, y'all, but look, this dude is talking about doing a garden in the yard in a dangerous neighborhood. This dude has rocks to meditate on outside. Did y'all hear me? A garden and rocks to meditate on outside. This is a neighborhood that has all these drug addicts, all these alcoholics, all making all this noise and all this loud music. Saws getting thrown into your yard, syringes getting thrown into your yard, yada, yada, yada. but yet you have a garden and rocks to meditate on outside. What? Folks, this makes absolutely no sense. And another thing I want to touch upon, and this is something that he talked about. He talked about a story of a Mexican guy who was on drugs. And this guy apparently OD'd a lot. And his daughter, the Mexican guy's daughter, kept calling the police and the ambulance. And the police miraculously showed up every time they were called. However, for some odd reason, when Lenon Honor calls the cops about the neighbors with their music and the disturbance, he claims they never came. Folks, what sense does that make? It's like this guy is just trying to come up with stuff as he's talking. It absolutely makes no sense. And this is stuff like this makes me question everything about this dude, because a lot of stuff ain't adding up. How can all this stuff be going on yet you're in a dangerous neighborhood? How can you have your back turned to a camera talking for nearly an hour and nobody ain't gonna come over and just knock your block off? And that pretty much goes to another thing, and I will talk about this later on in the video, but I kind of question Lenon Honor's past a little bit when it comes to how he grew up. Lenon Honor claims he grew up around all these drug addicts and all these alcoholics and whatnot, and I would assume at some point in time, if you witness all these things, you witness killings and guys getting shot and all this other stuff, I would have the assumption that you would have a little bit more street smarts. And Lord knows, if you've been surrounded by stuff like that, you would be very preoccupied if you have your back turned. But you seem to be so comfortable with your back turned, talking to a camera, not having any care of the world that somebody may come up there and knock your block off. So that's another reason why I question this dude, like, constantly. It's getting now to a point where I have to even question if this dude really grew up the way that he say that he grew up. Did he really have a abusive father? It's like, it's not adding up. And I'll talk about a lot of this stuff later on in the video. So as you guys can see, this right here is a Google search for the address that Lenon Honor was living in when he was in California. And as always, guys, this isn't doxing. I don't have any malicious intent. All I'm doing is just trying to show you guys why I feel to question the actual legitimacy of how dangerous this particular neighborhood is. That's all that I'm doing here, folks. And plus, not only that, though, but Lenon Honor doesn't live in California. He lives in Utah now. So anyways, guys, as we look at this screenshot, we see something from Trulia.com. And as you can see with the circle, this says lowest crime relative to the rest of Riverside County. I don't know, y'all. I mean, like, it doesn't sound like it's a dangerous area so far. I mean, like, is it possible that the crime all of a sudden dropped drastically from the bottom of the barrel to now one of the lowest crime relative areas? I mean, is it possible you can do that in 4 years? I mean, maybe people in Hemet, California can answer that, but I don't know. It's really not looking good so far. Really not looking good. So in the next screenshot here, I took it upon myself to look up the safest Hemet neighborhoods because, again, Lenon Honor was in Hemet during this time. And as y'all can see, Route 74, which is the area that he was in, is ranked number 5 in the safest Hemet neighborhoods. Number 5. Folks, it's not looking good. I mean, hey, again, is it possible that the crime just all of a sudden got diminished in 4 years? I don't know. Because again, people in Hemet, maybe you can let me know, especially if you were in Route 74 neighborhood. But again, this is questionable, folks. I don't know. And plus, I also had a comment in one of my videos recently, and it was someone that commented saying that they live in LA, and they was laughing at the fact of Hemet being a dangerous place. And they basically told me that Hemet ain't even about that life. So I got one testimonial from someone living in California. So maybe if I can get people in the comment section in California, especially Hemet, to tell me how dangerous these neighborhoods are, maybe we'll get better clarification. Or as a matter of fact, maybe if we would know back from 2009 to 2016 if it was really that bad. So the next screenshot I got is a race map. Now, the only reason why I got this is because of that stupid video that Lenon Honor made about saying that things didn't get worse until African Americans showed up. And I found this very interesting because if you look at this map, and again, you can see it says in Hemet, nearly half, or I would say over half, of the population is white. The second most people in this area are Hispanic. And you see with black people, it's very, very small. So I find it odd that Lenon Honor would say such a thing about saying, oh, things are going to go worse till African Americans showed up here. But yet, black people are very, very limited in this area. So it's either the white people or Hispanic people, Lenon. So which one is it, buddy? You got to pick a struggle. So in this particular section of the video, I'm not going to post any particular screenshots here because I do think if I do that things may get a little bit out of hand. And even if I say that this is not for malicious intent, I just think it just may swirl out of control. I just got that odd feeling that it may. So I'm not going to post a screenshot here, but I'm just going to let you know of what I found. There's a particular person of Lenon's family who talked about his parents and kind of gave like a background, just a short background of who they are. And apparently Lenon's dad was a cook for 25 years on several aircraft carriers, and his mom was a waitress for 41 years, served the generals at MCRD in San Diego. So pretty much both his parents was in the military, and I do kind of find it a little bit odd because from my understanding, and anybody can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't think Lenon Honor has ever mentioned his parents being in the military. From the videos that I've seen, Lenon pretty much put his dad in a bad light. He talked about saying that they've been through abuse and whatnot. His mom been through abuse, and he just really put his dad in a bad light. So I do find it kind of interesting, and this same relative really kind of put the parents in a very good light. So I'm kind of intrigued on what exactly is the story here. Now, is that saying that Lenon Honor could be possibly lying about this? I really can't say. I have to be fair on this one. I can't really say. Maybe there's more to it. I'm not pretty much sure, but I pretty much did confirm that his dad at least did serve in the military for quite some time, so that I can confirm. So I do find it a little bit interesting that from the research I did, that Lenon Honor didn't mention his dad was in the military. And that's not saying that he hasn't mentioned it before. I probably could have missed it. Again, if anybody can correct me if I'm wrong, please do. But from this vantage point, he has not mentioned anything about his dad being in the military. So it kind of brings into question, is Lenon Honor's dad really this bad guy? I mean, based on the other stuff that's been happening with Lenon Honor lying about the whole dangerous neighborhood, and I have receipts to show that it wasn't as bad as he's making it out to be. And plus, not only that though, folks, but you know, if you saw my last video, it showed that the house was sold from up underneath him. And so it was pretty obvious that this whole thing of, oh, our neighbors is making this move, it doesn't really add up. So that's pretty much what I have to say on that part. And since you guys made it this far, we'll have a little bit fun here. Alright guys, so the first thing we're going to look at here is a discovery here. We all thought that Lenon Honor has been begging since 2014. But come to find out, this dude did a crowdfunding campaign, aka a Kickstarter campaign, in 2012. So this is going way beyond. I mean, like, it's really making you wonder, how far has this dude been begging for donations here? And again, y'all, this is the same dude that want to use the excuse saying, well, the only reason why I criticize Umar Johnson and how it's so different is because Umar Johnson been begging for all these years. But nigga, you've been begging for at least 2012. It wouldn't surprise me if he'd been begging for money way beyond that point. And as you can see with the screenshots, he did not make his campaign fund successful. He only raised a little over $2,000. He was trying to get almost $9,000, so that didn't work. It was for a short film, but again, this is just another example of this dude begging. And why, again, this dude has no business criticizing somebody else for begging when his ass has been begging for all of these years. Alright guys, so now we're going to get to the very fun part, the grand finale. We are going to be looking at the Corey Holcomb, Zoe Williams response to Lenon Honor. So, for context, this particular show here on February 18, 2017, this was the follow-up episode after the whole Zoe Williams Aries Spears fight. Now, I'm not going to go over about Aries Spears and Zoe Williams. If you want to figure that out, go ahead, Google it, YouTube it, whatever. But during that particular time, a lot of people had a lot of reactions, a lot of opinions on the situation. And Lenon Honor was one of the people who basically just had to make an opinion. And that particular video that Lenon Honor made, it's either deleted or privated, and that particular video got a lot of backlash. Apparently he was making remarks about Corey Holcomb, Zoe Williams, Aries Spears, Umar Johnson, Tariq Nasheed, I believe also Tommy Sotomayor. And from what I understand, you know, like, it was just Lenon being Lenon. I mean, I can only imagine the stuff he was saying, probably saying a whole bunch of ignorant stuff. I wish I would have saw that video during that time, but I didn't really see Lenon Honor until, I believe, December of 2018. That was when he was really starting to get on the Umar Johnson gravy train. But I'm going to go ahead and play this clip. I'm going to try my best not to stop it all the time, but let's go ahead and watch this together. And here we go.
Chris, don't he be making some memes too?
Big Chris.
Big Chris.
Yeah.
What's his at?
I don't know. Is it on Twitter? Is he in the chat room, Chris?
He might be in the chat
That's
room.
real. That's fam
Chris
for
in the chat
real.
room,
Chris be coming to every act. Yeah.
Nah, but there's some real works that are being done. You know, the ZOA show, we promote black-owned businesses. About 98% of those black-owned businesses get promoted for free. I had the owners of Dash Radio confirm that on my IG account. They spoke on my behalf, basically saying Zoe comes in here with black-owned businesses that don't have the cash to get national exposure on radio, and we allow Zoe to promote these businesses for free. Niggas ain't making videos about that. Niggas ain't in the park making videos about that.
No, the dude in the park took this opportunity to criticize and say his 6-year-olds act like they more intelligent than us. Hey, homie, your 6-year-old gonna have a Corey Holcomb t-shirt on one day while you sitting in the park like a mark.
Right.
Ain't that old school?
Right.
Yeah.
You're in the
Just
park
in
like
the
a
park,
mark,
like
sitting
a
in the
mark.
dark.
Oh.
While you sitting in the park, that's your studio.
That's your studio.
The
Hey,
park.
could've been the
You ain't
library.
gave the park a dime for none of that.
Oh.
You owe the park money, fool.
You owe the city bread, nigga.
Right.
You ain't got no license to do this. You ain't got
Right.
no permits. He just out there.
You know what's sad about him? He really think he better than me. He think he better than you. I'm
Well,
better than them. But we know you in the park.
Exactly.
Right.
I don't, you know.
I want everybody to do me a favor. Tomorrow,
No,
if you had the time,
don't give it to him.
anybody in the park at noon, just go watch who there. Because it was, yeah. On the weekend, I'll give you a pass.
Well, yeah, but during the week.
But during the week, everybody in the park, because let me tell you something, I was one of them motherfuckers. Man, I used to be hooping.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I used to be a hooper.
In
I
the
was
gym.
broke than a motherfucker.
But wait, when we went to the game, when y'all went to shoot, remember? We went there. What time was that? Same time, like showtime, 7 or 6?
No, it was earlier.
It was earlier. It was 5 or 6, and we got there, and there was some folks there already. Wait a second, it's 5 o'clock. Wait.
How'd you get here this
What you
quick
doing?
from work?
Well, some of them people was there for their kids. You know, there was a lot of stuff going on.
I'm talking about the people that were there. Remember, we even borrowed one of their balls. Like there was people there.
But we got to give them a pass, D, because it was about 4 or 5 when we did that, right?
Yes, on
That's
the
why I
weeknight.
said at noon.
Oh, in the middle of the day.
At noon, all the grown men in the park need a ride home.
If you ain't 80 years old and over playing chess in the park.
All my homies at the gym, 11, 12, 1, 2 in the afternoon,
Right.
my age, still cut up. Corey, you need to let me train you.
Right.
Drop me off over here.
Stop.
You know.
Oh.
D, I got a Y membership. D, at the Y, D. D got the hook up where I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go to this Hollywood Y.
I had a class today, all
I've
men.
been one time since
It
I
was
got the membership.
all men today.
I'm embarrassed. I've been one time, D.
You should have came today. Today was nice.
What time?
11 a.m.
Old boy be there. Hey, park nigga.
You know, come and get your curls on, man.
Hey, bum ass park
To
nigga.
our triceps.
Bring you and your kids up to the park while your wife go to work and hold it down. You a baby boy. Hurt, don't it? Because you know it's true. Even though he'll try to be like, no, Corey. Yeah. Motherfucker.
And then there's
the
some
fuck up.
hypocrisy in it too, because okay, we all speak proper English. We all have
Fresh air felon. I'm
right?
sorry.
We all have the ability to speak proper English, right? But that still doesn't mean someone is intelligent or someone understands. Don't mean you smart just because you're articulate.
Or the opposite if you use
Right.
slang.
Right.
That's your
Or
dumb.
the opposite, if you use slang. Just because somebody using slang doesn't mean they're dumb or unintelligent. And sometimes you could speak so high that you miss all the people that you might be able to help.
Ah.
Trying to sit back and judge and say, oh, how come he ain't speaking like this? And my kids, they do better than... Wait a minute. You struggling, obviously, but even your struggle doesn't humble you?
That's
Your
you
struggle
done.
doesn't humble you enough to prevent you from judging other brothers, and you gonna use their name to make a video so you can get some bread?
Shame.
Did y'all not hear what Zoe said? Is this not the type of stuff that me and others have been saying about this dude? Humbling yourself, hypocrisy, making bread off somebody else. This shit was in 2017 when he said this, y'all. 2017. Let's continue.
Nigga, if you articulate and a bum, that means you are the dumbest motherfucker on the planet.
Oh.
You like a white person who laid up and said, man, I ain't got no job. That's fucking sad.
Yeah.
Here you are, you tried to fit in and ain't got shit.
They called him an old Robin Hood ass nigga.
Right.
Ghost dad.
Jody niggas. I like that. Jody niggas. I like that.
Chris already tweeted that.
That pretty much sums up Lenon to a certain extent. Damn, call my damn baby boy Jody. These dudes stupid.
What you said.
What?
Chris already tweeted that.
What?
He said, dope sentiment, Corey. Being your friend brings responsibility.
Yeah.
Big Chris at Big Dog
Oh,
127.
being your friend, when I said being your friend to Zoe. Yeah, it
Yeah.
brings responsibility. Zoe is a twisted motherfucker, but I am too.
We got
You get what I'm saying?
We got you.
Get it.
Man, I got so much shit I got to do better, man. God damn. I meant to get here early and make fucked up videos about that weirdo nigga.
We didn't get a chance to do it.
That's me. I got flaws. But the flaws you in the park ass niggas trying to bring out. Stop. Homie, your 6-year-old gonna be like me. Remember I told you that. Your 6-year-old ain't gonna do what you do because you ain't got no works to go along with your good talking ass. Your 6-year-old gonna tell you just like that motherfucker told Robert De Niro in A Bronx Tale. The working man is a sucker. Have you ever seen The Bronx Tale?
Right.
Yes, but I haven't seen it as many times as you probably have.
I ain't seen it a lot, but that shit stuck out to me. Robert De Niro
Right.
was a bus driver
Right.
trying to tell his son woo woo woo. But the street motherfucker had his son doing minimal shit,
Yeah.
had more money than Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Robert De Niro took the money and gave it back to the street dude and said, stay away from my son. His son was like, I earned that money. I earned that money, Dad. The working man is a sucker. And that shit is real. The working man is a sucker, but it don't mean you a bad person.
Right.
For whatever that's worth. I'm trying to say, I got respect for a man who go put his day's work in. But don't say that I ain't shit because I don't do it like that. That's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Motherfucker, because you get your check from a person that gives you the lowest amount he could possibly pay you for doing the job. Don't say, oh, I earned a hard day's work, and the dude out there who's slanging whatever he got to slang, you think you better than him? You not. I'm just saying.
And
Drug dealers have been supplied with drugs. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. All the drug dealing I seen, I know. Them dudes who grew up with me, who mama got the same aid check my mama used to get, are able to get drugs because somebody in charge of this country makes sure they are able to get drugs to sell to their brothers and sisters.
and if you're trying to build a platform,
So as this video is going on, it pretty much paused. I pretty much wasn't one that paused this. It's gonna come back up soon.
like, or you think it's disrespectful, you shouldn't bring attention to it.
Using that
You
way.
should
He's using
speak
it, right.
the opposite.
They finna
You should
legalize
be the
drugs.
example.
They finna legalize drugs. People gonna have a choice to go in the store and buy drugs. They finna do it.
Yeah.
People who don't do drugs,
They ain't gonna,
they gonna start doing drugs
right.
now.
Right.
If you don't do it, you don't do it. People who do drugs, that's their thing. I think it's better when you can go in the store and get it. I'm about to go get some heroin.
Yeah, pretty much paused again on its own. This isn't me, y'all. It's about to come back up soon.
Some blue magic and a slushy.
You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Pop me a Molly while I'm in
now they can't sell it on the street. They'll be like, I ain't got to buy that. They got that at Walmart.
Yeah. I can buy in bulk. I
Right.
can buy in bulk. Yeah.
I'm gonna get some blow and a blow pop at Walmart.
Damn.
But these people are the worst people in the world because they get their money on the streets. Get the fuck out of here, man. Motherfucker don't do drugs. How about that?
Yeah.
But some of you motherfuckers got a spirit.
Again, it's gonna come back up. I didn't pause this, y'all. Damn janky as hell with this. It's coming.
I think mine is sugar.
This motherfuckers out here got a vice. They like to sit in the park and talk shit about boss niggas.
Knew that sound.
That's
Yeah.
a fucked up vice.
Or another nigga like to sit behind a meme.
What's your address, homie? Send it to the thing so I can mail you a mirror.
Yeah. Oh.
Cause you must ain't got none at the crib. You know what I'm saying? All you motherfuckers, that nigga, I see.
See, now you got me curious. You got people in there curious. Who at the park? Look, everybody's asking. Who you talking
I don't know where that video is.
No,
I believe
I-
it'll,
yeah.
it'll pop up more because
Yeah,
I'm
we don't
talking
want to
about
get.
it.
Yeah, he loving this right
The
now.
mark in the
Really.
park. That's all he is. The mark in the park.
Hey, he got natural lighting though.
He ain't got
Dark
to
He ain't
light.
pay.
got to buy
He
his
ain't got to pay
lights.
for no set. He has no responsibilities. He got 5 kids.
Outages, nothing.
I know you live with a woman, dude. I know you do.
Okay.
I know you do. I know that type. Didn't I nail you right, didn't I? He's somewhere like, he been following me. No, I ain't been following you. I know what kind of nigga
He ain't
you
even
are.
mad about it. He's probably happy. He's probably loving it. Anyway.
I don't even know how long we've been talking.
I
dude.
don't know.
Oh, shit. We gotta get to your shit.
Well,
Yeah, let's
We
go.
gotta sit through this shit.
Oh, ain't that about nothing? You feel better though? You feel all right?
What you got, OD?
I got on one. Somebody was saying D's wearing.
So right there, that was pretty much the end of it. And I really didn't have to say a whole lot because what Corey and Zoe was saying was pretty much what a lot of us have also been saying. The difference is this shit was made in 2017. So what does that tell y'all? This shit ain't nothing new. And what's crazy is that Lenon Honor made a apology video, but it didn't turn out to be as genuine as we all thought, because what ended up happening is he tried to make excuses for why he made the video the way he did, because he was under a lot of stress with the move and all that other bullshit. And still to this day, this dude hasn't humbled himself. So that's pretty much my reaction to this video. I mean, pretty much been saying the stuff I've been thinking and what everybody else has been thinking. So that's pretty much the end of the video. If you guys want to share this video, or if you want to make a video of your own addressing any of these topics, just go ahead and do your thing. And until next time, guys, I'll see y'all later.